So my name is Judy Boshnack. Giuditta Carmela Graziosi is my maiden name. And I came here to do an Italian program for them. I do Italian programs all over the island, everywhere from Levittown, and now Southampton is my furthest. I'm going to Medituck, I think, in the fall. My heritage is Italian, and I absolutely love sharing Italian cooking with everyone. It brings me so much joy. So I love coming to libraries and sharing that with other people too. I grew up from when I was tall enough to be able to reach the counter making pasta. And so that's my passion, and I love sharing that with everybody. So they invited me, and I had a great group of people making pasta today. We made cavatelli, so it was awesome. So today we made homemade pasta, and I use a recipe that I grew up using. My mother's from southern Italy, little Nana. She's going to be 99 years old in August. So I've been making pasta for my whole life, and she made pasta growing up. So she was the one in the kitchen while other people were doing, all her siblings were working outside on the farm. She would be making the meals and making the handmade pasta. So I learned very young how to make pasta. And that was something that brought our family together. And it still to this day brings our family together. I'm just going to mention one little anecdote, and then I'll mention what we did today. But my mother, through cancer, her rehabilitation was making pasta dough in my kitchen. And we put out all the dough, and she sat there and she worked her arms. And it was the best physical therapy, but the best bonding moment for me, watching her go from frail to having the energy to do it. It was just wonderful. So pasta for me has a lot of meaning, and I felt like that would be a great thing to share with the patrons here. The way that it means so much in my family, I hope that it also means a lot to them. So they made homemade pasta using semolina, flour, water. We don't use eggs in our recipe. My mother does it because eggs were too expensive. So she never grew up using eggs, so I don't. And then they shaped them using a ton, I'm a little obsessed, a ton of Cavarola boards and gnocchi boards and cavatelli machines so that they could make embossed pasta. They ended up leaving with a pound of hand-shaped pasta, cavatelli, which is a little tiny pasta that looks like a little hot dog bun. So they all left with a pound of pasta and hopefully a nice memory. So for me, it was really enjoyable, and I got to meet the sweetest people. So I hope they enjoyed their pasta at home. A little love story. My father was quite the romantic, and they both grew up in Italy. They got married in Italy, and just like, the movies, you see the long table during the wedding ceremony. They had a long table in front of their home. And the big land, it's beautiful, it's farmland. And they had their first dance, obviously in the same place. Well, my father, about 20 years, actually I think it was on their 20th anniversary, decided he wanted to build a house in that same location where they had their first dance. So my father had a house built. Even though he was in America, he commissioned a house to be built for them for when they retired on the site that they had their first dance. So my mother, even though my father never got to see the house, she saw pictures, but he never got to get back there. Unfortunately, things are hard. But my mother was going there for every year for 3 months at a time. And every time she'd step out of the car, I would see her looking up, and I know she was thinking, thank you for giving me this, because it gave her a place to be closer to my dad. So for me, like I said, Italy, Italian food, the whole thing is my life, my heart, so I love sharing that. And I have to tell you, I love library. First of all, I'm a librarian also a former home ec teacher. So I have all of that that I loved doing also. But I love doing it in libraries because I feel like it gives you a group from the community that want to learn something together. And I noticed these people that are strangers walking through the door leave chatting and becoming friends and sharing an experience, a memory that they'll never forget, coming to the library and making pasta together. So it comes people from all different cultural backgrounds and that they never have met before, and we became a family. So that I love. And it was so cute because at one point a new family came in with their grandson, and everyone gathered and helped them. Here's the spoons, here's the flour. This is what it's about. And for me, I grew up in a culture like that too. We were always ready to help the next neighbor, anybody that needed help. We were there to help them. And it's similar. I like to have my programs feel the same way, where we're just coming together as a community, enjoying time together. So that's why I really love doing it in libraries. And I love meeting people. It's one of the things I absolutely love. So every place I go, I get to meet the sweetest people, and each person leaves a spot on my heart that I will always cherish. So for me, it's just beautiful. I love it. Every time I go to a new town, even when I'm traveling around across the country, I feel that when you go into the library, you get a sense of what the community is all about, by their displays, by the people you meet, by the things that they showcase. It's such a beautiful little window into the community, and I love that different libraries, no matter where I go. That's the first thing, and my husband is my sidekick, by the way, and I could not do this without him. So that's the one thing that we absolutely love doing together. So we walk in and we're like, "Whoa, look at this library." So now he's even become one of those library geeks like me that loves just enjoying the different and why people do certain things in their libraries, why they have the city. Like now here, we're out in a courtyard, how gorgeous. Other places have little cafes, and it's interesting to see what the community needs, and that's what the library then offers for them. So it's kind of a great thing. It's a window into their world, and I get to spend at least a couple of hours enjoying it, so I love it. As far as being like a teacher, I was a former home ec teacher, home and careers facts teacher. So a lot of what I do in libraries is try to educate not only the cultural part, but also the mechanical part. So I show how to properly measure water, how to properly measure flour, and all that stuff too. So hopefully they'll get a couple of tips along the way. And I love going to libraries because it's a different group of kids. I teach kids, by the way, too. I teach kids all the way through adults, but it's a different group of people every time I go to a different library. And I get to meet wonderful people. There's nothing better than that. So I truly enjoy it. This is what I want to do when I retire, is just go to different libraries and enjoy all these different the communities and the wonderful people that are there. So I love it so much. I do have a website. Probably the best way to contact me, if I can give my email, I guess, is I'll give my email. It's Boshnack, BOSHNACK .Judy, JUDY, @gmail.com. And any library that's interested, contact me. I'm housed in Harborfield. You can always call some of these libraries and see if they like my programs. But if you're looking for something Italian, something a little different, something that brings families together, I'm the one that you might enjoy having.